Everybody, I'm back with another mechanicaltools.com. We're going to be doing a little bit different topic today. Normally we're doing tool reviews, gear reviews, just trade related reviews of things that I use in our everyday life in my own shop here in California. But today we're actually going to be doing something on kind of a gear review, but more of a question mark. And I've had this kind of question a lot through some last couple of years, which can you safely, legally, realistically be a concealed weapons carrier while being an active tradesman? So I am a California CCW holder. I carry a Glock 19. I have been doing that for about 2 years now. And for me, I love it. It has its fair share of headaches and things that I find to be difficult, especially for a guy who, maybe is crawling around houses or under houses and attics or just working in general. But I think my answer to most of the questions about is it doable is yeah, it depends how important it is to you. I'm a father of 6, married to a beautiful wife, and I carry a gun. I carry a gun when I'm with them out in public. I carry a gun when I'm at work. And it's, God forbid I ever have to use it, but I just feel that people that are responsible Americans, should think about carrying a gun. I mean, I feel like it makes people around me safer. So let's get into my gear, what I do. It's constantly changing. And again, this is a little bit off topic, but not really. I feel like this is a constant conversation. A lot of blue collar guys want to carry a gun. They're just not sure how to do it, how it pertains to people in the field. So, and I'm not the only guy that at my shop that carries a gun. So, and we all do it a little bit differently. So the way that I do it is I'm down to one system, right? I'm not ex-military. I don't have any, super badass training. I'm a dad and a plumber and, an HVAC guy and all those things. But the last thing that I am is like this super, legit tactical guy. Not that guy, just a guy who grew up with guns, who's pretty comfortable with them, and who does a little bit of stuff to stay proficient. So let's just get going here. I carry on my appendix. So I carry a sidecar, which is made by T-Rex. And let's just go through it here. So mag, and I don't normally carry a gun without one in the chamber. I just did for purposes, so it's empty. Now, so I carry a Glock 19. I have a JCS SlideWorks slide done to it. I have a TLR 7 light, and I've actually just bought a new light. I bought a Surefire X300U, and that's what will be going on here. And then I have a red dot that's coming as well. So inevitably, I'm going to be changing my sidecar out for just a different sidecar. So for me, I can carry my gun in my waistband pretty easily. This is the sidecar. It goes in there pretty well. I can work. If I'm absolutely so uncomfortable, maybe crawling under a house, I could take it off if I wanted to. But I've crawled under tons of houses with it on. It's not that hard to do. What I have found is the hardest thing is the muscle memory of just being able to just have this thing on daily, and then it's not that hard. But if you stop wearing it, it becomes front of mind that you are not carrying a gun, or that you're carrying a gun and because it's uncomfortable. But if you're doing it every day, you're really not going to have, in my opinion, problems carrying it. You're going to be very, very used to it. In fact, you feel kind of weird when you don't have one on. You'll kind of you'll check, you're like, oh, where's my gun at? And because it's just like one of those moments where it's like anything else. Like when you, for some reason, leave your wallet in the car, or you leave your cell phone somewhere, you feel off. It's just part of your system, your daily system. So the one hiccup that I run into with carrying a gun is that some places don't allow it. You got to be careful where you're working. You should carry a safe in your truck, or you should. What I do is, if I'm going on jobs, I'm not always on jobs, but when I'm going on jobs, the day before, I know where I'm going. So if I know I'm going to be going to a job, like a school job or something like that, I leave it at home. I'm not playing. I don't want anything to do with that. So if I'm checking the jobs that I'm going to and I make an appropriate decision on how to safely store my gun or whatever, that's what I do. A lot of people, that may be hard for some tradesmen who their jobs could change on the fly. And I can understand how that could be difficult, especially if you're like in the big city or something. Forgive, we are in the shop as always. It's a bustling here. And I thought at 5 o'clock I might have less guys coming in. But for me, I find it extremely valuable. I have not been doing it for many years. I've only been doing it for 2 years. But I think that if you're a guy or a gal that wants to carry a gun, wants to be a tradesman, man, do it. You're gonna find value in it. It's one of those things that I had previously wanted to do for years. I talked about it. I had friends that talked about it. And honestly, guys in the trades always talk about it for some reason. And I think it just kind of comes with the territory of the type of people that are in the trades. Oftentimes, they're kind of gun people. So my recommendation for how to get started would be pretty simple. First of all, if your local place, your state, your city allows them, I would go inquire on what it requires. I think each state's different. In fact, I think each county is different on how you can qualify for it. My personal county is Del Norte County, California. Basically, you had to go through a training class. Hey, Ruben. A training class with basically a handgun instructor, which oftentimes is some law enforcement type guy. And then you're going to, whatever the training time is. They have a bunch of different times they force you to train for. So it could be 40 hours and, half that's class time or whatever. And then you're going to be doing a competency test. Basically, you're going to have to shoot certain targets at distance and speed, just to make sure that you know what you're doing. I mean, at the end of the day, you're carrying a gun, and if you need to use it, they need to make sure that you're safe. So, and then you're going to go through basically the background check. The Department of Justice is going to check you out, make sure that you don't have anything in your background. And then it takes time. My experience with this whole thing, and I've had friends that have done it, and I have family that have done it, is that patience is key. So you are going to need to, at least with my experience and all my friends, is that you submit your paperwork, you check on it, you go in, you have a big smile on your face, and you just ask the person who's in charge of that, how's it going? What is the updates? Because to me, it seems like it's oftentimes, I don't know if an inconvenience is the right word, but it feels like an inconvenience when you go down to the police station and they're dealing with bad guys and you're asking about your CCW. So I think that they want you to get it, but I just think that it can kind of feel like an inconvenience. So, file the paperwork, and then just once you get it, the hardest thing, and I'll be the first one to admit it, is staying proficient with it. I would recommend getting a system, get into, I watched video after video after video trying to figure out, what kind of gun I wanted to carry, how I wanted to carry it, all those things. And for me, I landed on, I watched a ton of T-Rex arms. I think that those guys are super awesome. I watched a lot of, Grand Thumb, nothing fancy. A ton of them. It's been a while, obviously, since I did it, but there's a ton of videos out there, a ton of content out there. I didn't really find any content of guys like me, though, that were tradesmen doing it, because it just seems like it's hard for a tradesman to do it. I have not had that experience. I find that it's easy. You just got to kind of orient your life to it. But I would, I chose to get a Glock. To me, the Glock was a tried and true weapon. It was about as reliable as I could get. And you can pretty much get material parts for it. You can get, a Glock, you can get a Glock holster. You can get anything for this gun. I knew that I wanted to have a red dot eventually put on it, just because I've never been that amazingly accurate with irons. So I bought a slide that had that opportunity from JCS Slides too. That's milled out there, and there's a patch on it. But for me, that's what I did. I knew that was going to be in the cards for me eventually. It took me 2 years to buy it. I just bought one. So I'll be having to train with that and get proficient with that. But to me, this has been a journey. I've gone through waves of where I've felt uncomfortable carrying it. Like if I gained 5 or 6 pounds, man, I feel it. It's on my gut. It's like, ugh. My gun kind of digs into my hips. It feels like, oh man, I'm feeling fat. But that's a thing I think is actually good. It's just a kind of another item in your life that you can kind of be like, okay, my gun's not fitting very well. I should probably drop some weight. But so that's what my opinion on it. That's just one guy's opinion, one plumber's opinion on it. I would, if you have any questions, shoot me a message or whatever, comment. And check out the channel, man. We'll see you guys on the next one, and be well. Bye.